I just quickly want to talk about all the stuff that's gone down over the last couple of days. I know it's been super insane, even for me. I'm not the most political guy ever. I do lean right. I didn't even vote last election, but just seeing all that stuff that just went down, I just can't shake it. And it has affected my trading, and that's not even, who cares about that? But I've just taken the last couple of days kind of like stepping away. Like I just don't know what to do, man. It's just a situation that just sucks, left, right, wherever. Like that was just insane. So just super sad. Let's just get into the rest of this video. I just wanted to address it, but let's get into the first trade of the week. I don't quite remember this one specifically. This was on Sunday night. I just want to quickly announce to you guys are the first people that I actually ever talk about this to. My Discord is now going to be cheaper to get into on top of the discount that I'm running this weekend. It was $100 a month, now it's going to 75. The reason why I changed it is I've now structured the Discord into pretty much like a tiered system. I stream for free on Twitch and YouTube every single morning, so if you want to go pop in there, say what's up, live trade, all that. In the Discord, I'm still going to be alerting all of my trades. I'm going to be streaming in there after the morning stream, kind of like a follow up. Then I'm going to be doing night streams, usually every night, depending on if I do get a trade. I'm going to be doing bi-weekly group calls. I want you to think of this as your introduction to everything. It's a super tight-knit community. It's super educational. And this is where the second part of this comes into it, the pathway to profits. That's kind of the second tier of the Discord. This is going to be the one-on-one mentoring, the group coaching, the very tight-knit, higher level education stuff. I'm not going to be talking about the basic stuff in there. It's more going to be retention and actual prevention to make sure you can continue to do this as your job, especially if you're already seeing results. How can we optimize you to make you even better as a trader? I still have that closed off right now. I probably will open it next week. I'm trying to structure it though, so the base accelerator section as well of the Discord, where you will actually take some tests, you'll qualify, and if you do qualify and show to me that you've kind of been through the introductional stuff, you've learned, you can actually take that and you can go into the pathway, kind of graduate into it for a really big discount and just pretty much take yourself to the next level as long as you prove it to me. Feel free to jump in there right now. Like I said, discounts right here. I want you to get into the accelerator, learn, understand, get deeper into trading, and then once you prove to me that it's time for you to actually get into that higher skilled mentoring, once I see you starting to make money trading, I get you in there, you develop even higher, and you actually take this to that next step. A lot of you guys are in that gray area where you're kind of in, kind of out, you don't know if this is really your direction. So I'm super excited about it. I'm going bottom right for now just so you guys can see this. So again, I do alert all my trades in the Discord right here. You guys see we obviously took this. We had a banger week from an alert standpoint. I kind of stopped towards the end of the week just because I was already up so much. I was taking some trades here and there and I got fucked for it. But anyways, this was Sunday night. We took a really solid gold trade. We see this consolidation open up right off the rip. Now there's a couple things that I actually contradict myself when I'm going to be talking about this. You see the initial candle all the way on the left. That is the opening candle, the 6 o'clock open, which I'm very against playing against, because you have to think about this. When the new session starts, this is obviously, again, the open after market closed on the day before. This sets a huge tone. You have to think right off the rip what is happening. We see this huge bottom wick and this huge sign for buys. So I was like, okay, off the rip, I kind of just sat back because I was actually bearish going into it. And we see just pretty much consolidation for the next hour and a half. What do I see though? I do see we reject off of this low that we created, but we're also starting to reject this EMA. This is what you have to do in a situation like this. When you do see this, kind of indecision, which is exactly what's going on right now, you have to look at the dollar. That's what I did. I went right to the dollar. I noticed that the dollar is pushing up very high. What does that mean? That's very negative of gold's price. So we should expect to see some sort of fall, not a complete reversal, but you're more than likely seeing gold fall down as the dollar is climbing. So we saw a really strong rip out of the dollar. Gold starting to consolidate to the bearish side as long as we stay underneath that EMA, which we did. We were kind of hanging near it pretty much all night. Once I saw that initial rejection off the EMA, price sells off. Then you see it kind of retraces into that EMA again, and that's exactly where I enter. I entered in. You guys obviously see right there during that consolidation, my stop loss was where? At the high of the session, at that initial second candle that we created. My stop loss wasn't at the low, because I understand I had this area marked out before, on top of the fact that this initial opening candle actually rejected off of it and bottom off it, proving that there were buyers there already. The fact that I had the zone, plus it already rejected off of it, I just set my stop loss at that second low that we created, and I got super lucky with the exit. This actually reversed completely back up, and it would have stopped me out. But this, just a little tip right there, you don't always need to go for the super strong low. The pretty much recent low is what I wanted to target. So you guys see my recent low is where my TP was. My stop loss was where the recent high was. That's all it was. So super solid trade. Again, took a little bit. We almost hit TP right there. Came back up, rejected off of our break even. Came all the way back down. Just got us filled. And we started off the week with a pretty freaking huge banger. I think it's around 4 points of profit, which on gold is a lot. Second trade right here. This is actually a follow up of the other trade. Remember last time I literally showed you we hit the take profit by like a tick, then it came up and started ripping, and then gold was looking super bullish. So this was the next morning. We flipped to bullish because we saw that huge reversal out of gold. And what do we see here? We just see a really strong uptrend. That's all I notice off of the rip. We're seeing this continuation up, retracement to the EMA, continuation, retracement to the EMA, continuation. And that's all I was trying to do here. We see initially right here, you guys see my mouse, initial buy up, and then we see this consolidation, rejection off the EMA, which is actually an entry, but I think this was before market opened up, so I didn't actually take this. I remember I took this trade like 10 minutes before the market opened. So you guys see kind of the slower volume here, and then as we kind of got closer to after my trade, that's when the volume actually started to pick up because that was around 9:30. We just see, all I'm noticing off the rip is that we're seeing rejections off the EMA, which means the average price, we're seeing rejections off of it, which more than likely means that we're probably going to go higher. If we've done something once, continuation, rejection, continuation, rejection, continuation. Just wanted to see a continuation off the same exact EMA, same thing that we saw here. Super pretty light. I think I had like a 1.5 point stop. Notice how my stop loss wasn't at this. It was actually at this previous low that we had. Only reason why I did that, for the most part, you would have your stop loss right here, but I think it was like literally 1 point. And I think this got me down to like 1.8. So I just was like, all right, I'll take the extra 0.8 points. I need a little bit of room to work with. And we caught a really solid dub off of this. I don't think there was a main reason why I exited here. To be brutally honest with you, I think this just kind of took off, and then I kind of just closed out as soon as we got into this rejection right here. This, anytime you see like a green zone, for me, it's just pretty much an area where you should look to see some sort of reversal or rejection or bounce off of. This is obviously above us, meaning that it is a supply zone, and once we got in here, I just closed out, and we obviously would have made more, but from an RR standpoint, I think this was around 2.4, super solid. Again, starting the week off 2-0, I think almost up 9 points already was super huge. Second trade, or actually third trade coming in right here. Let me actually move my stupid ugly face over. We have pretty much same exact thing we saw last trade. We have this, just from you guys can see, I think this was on the 5 minute. We have our rejection right here, which is where obviously we found our entry. But look down directly below me. I don't know, sometimes my mouse works and sometimes it doesn't, but you guys can't see my mouse. Literally right there, that big green candle that's kind of off the screen. What do we see there? We see breakout, rejection off of the EMA. We see that consolidation coming back in, kind of flagging into the EMA, rejection off of it. Then what do we see? Big boom up. This candle looks very similar to this candle. Yes, rejection off that EMA. You see that where I circled? That circle right there. This is so choppy. I wish I had like a little laser pointer or something. Then we get into Wednesday night, I believe this was, and this was already after the whole Charlie Kirk shit went down. And I definitely wasn't on tilt, but I was just like kind of like checked out mentally. I was so drained. I just felt like complete shit. But all I wanted to see here was just a slight continuation up. It was just a 1-to-1 off of this low. We have this engulfing candle coming back above the EMA. Super simple entry. Jumped in there and caught that. See some simple bottom wicks just rejecting up off of that. Buyers come back up. We jumped in off this candle close for a slight continuation back up and continue to go higher. We had our stop loss here. You guys see it actually went pretty well off the rip. It wasn't looking too bad actually. This candle right here is perfect. Like, I would love to see this candle after I get into a long. Ended up falling off of a cliff and stopping us out, but you guys see it went a lot lower, so we had a pretty good exit on this, and this pretty much session just canceled out. I just need to stop playing to the short side. We actually saw these shorts coming into it. And by the way, just because I win a trade does not mean it was a good trade. That's might be the dumbest thing that so many people get like wrong with trading. Just because you win a trade does not mean it's a good trade. Anyways, we come down here, we see these sells. We also see buys come right back up here. We see those buys get rejected with a very strong bearish candle right here. That's a very, 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 very strong candle. We actually, no top wick, no bottom wick, just pretty much complete sells for that entire time duration. Then what do we see? We see buys actually take over, but this time, kind of different than what we had here. They actually get rejected and they close with a super solid top wick. We jumped in off of that rejection and we just ran a 1-to-1 off of the top of this wick. We hit TP, came right back up and continued up, pretty much caught the bottom of it, ripped back up. So kind of same thing happened here, just didn't make money this time. Very similar setup. You guys are kind of seeing exactly what I'm talking about, that big nice move down, rejection. The only thing I will say is it didn't hit the EMA, but that's not a big deal for me. The candle itself is very, very, very bearish, and I like to see that entry, and I would take that majority of the time. Once again, I shouldn't be playing shorts. That's all it really comes down to. It's dumb. You lose your edge when you play this way, and I obviously I found out. Stop loss was at the top of that wick and just ran a 1-to-1 and just caught the bottom, which, leave it to Steph to do that. But that's really it, man. The week itself, I think we ended up around 15 points on the week on gold, which is insane. I'm very happy with it, but I hate going into the week super strong and then ending it bad because I get very recency bias and all I'm thinking about is the bad trades. Biggest takeaways, man, is just like I should have just quit after Wednesday. My mind was not there. That's why you guys have to realize, outside of trading, there's so much stuff that goes down in your life and, could be affecting you, whether it's news or whether it's something just that you would know. It really does affect me, man, and it probably affects you too, and you have to realize that these things, like, it's going to affect your trading. So if you know what's going on and you know something's about to happen, you probably should take a step away for a little bit. The market's always going to be there no matter what. So, slow it down a little bit. But again, please feel free to join the Discord. Huge sale. I'm really trying to get this community back to where I really want it to be. And I think this is the first step. So love you guys. See you later.